I don't know if you've seen the hashtag deconstruction or deconstructing anywhere on social media, or if you've even heard that terminology, but chances are, if you've been on social media, you have seen a just whole line of former Christians saying, hey, I'm deconstructing my faith. Now, as a philosophy major, as someone who totally understands the Socratic process, I'm actually a big fan of taking something that we believe and deconstructing it to figure out whether we actually should believe what we, just kind of have absorbed throughout life. So I'm a fan of the process, but here's what I'm not a fan of. Too often, the process of deconstruction happens without any thought to the direction it's headed. And this is, in fact, something that happened to a lot of Jesus's followers. So in John 6, there was this crazy saying that Jesus said. Basically, he said something really hard, and he said it on purpose to thin out the crowds. He put a test out there to see who was serious about following, who was serious about investigating further and finding out whether they were ready to lay down their lives to follow him. Jesus knowing everything that was going to be ahead for his disciples. And so he said this really hard thing, and a lot of people left. It says this in John 6, verse 66. After this, many of his disciples turned back and no longer walked with him. I think oftentimes we tend to think, oh my goodness, we're the first generation that has had to deal with this mass exodus from the church, this mass exodus of my friends who used to believe and now no longer believe. We're not the first by far. It happened to Jesus himself and Jesus's disciples. So then Jesus turns to the 12 and says this, do you want to go away as well? I think that's important. There is freedom in our faith. There are no captives in Christianity, right? Jesus says you are free to go and you are free to follow. It's always an invitation. But then I love what Simon Peter said. Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life, and we have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God. Simon Peter asked the right question. Where are we going to go? You have the words of life. So where are we going to deconstruct to? So I have two encouragements for two different types of people. One is if you are in the process of deconstructing your faith, I applaud you for being on that journey, and I implore you to take enough time to consider where you are going on this journey. It is not enough to simply dismantle. You also have to rebuild. You have to decide what you are grounding ethics in, what you are grounding meaning in, what you are grounding hope in, what you are grounding your everyday, I'm going to get out of bed in. You have to answer, where am I going? If it's not with Jesus, to whom am I turning? On the other side, if you've decided, man, I really do believe, I have come to the conclusion that Jesus Christ is the Lord of all and all of my allegiance belongs to him, then my encouragement to you is to stick close to him. Don't let your eyes wander after those that are walking away. Don't let your heart go there as well. Stick close to Jesus because you have come to believe and to know that Jesus is who he claims to be, and stay encouraged in following him. So wherever you're at, whether you're currently deconstructing or you've come to the end of that process and you have committed yourself to believing that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, the Lord of all creation, be there and make sure that you take enough time to answer that question. Where are we going? Where is this heading? I hope that encourages you.